Jungkook's first solo tour series. Although this tour was entirely marketed as an individual project, behind-the-scenes facts reveal a very significant involvement from another BTS member, Park Jimin. This information not only changes the understanding of the tour's creative process, but also raises serious questions about how much of a role Jimin played in ensuring the tour went as planned. Jungkook embarked on a global tour with undeniable success. Packed arenas, positive critical reviews, and consistent performances from city to city showed his artistic quality. However, much of the public is unaware that this success was not entirely achieved alone. According to several individuals directly involved in the tour's production, Jimin played a crucial yet unofficially announced supporting role. Internal sources stated that Jimin had been involved since the early concept development phase of the performance. He was reportedly present at several closed training sessions, even contributing to the creation of some key choreography for stage transitions. His involvement was discreet, without media exposure, without official documentation, and completely out of public sight. Additional information from the production team revealed that Jimin also took part in technical adjustments to several of Jungkook's live song arrangements. He was involved in discussions regarding the setlist selection, including emotional audience responses to the song order. In one previously unpublished case, Jimin was reported to have directly corrected the vocal structure of a main track that initially felt too static for an international concert stage. His involvement went beyond technical matters, extending into crucial moments before the tour began. 2 weeks before departure to the first city, a key rehearsal session was reportedly paused due to Jungkook experiencing significant psychological pressure. Jimin personally came to the rehearsal venue and stayed with Jungkook all night until the session could be completed the next day. No documentation. No social media post. No official statement. But witnesses said Jimin's presence at that moment became the turning point in Jungkook's mental readiness for the tour. Most of the tour's promotional content did not include Jimin's name. There were no visual or audio indicators of his involvement. However, background vocal tracks used in the concert intros in some cities featured harmonies highly identical to Jimin's voice. Observant fans noticed and began documenting evidence of this indirect involvement. Furthermore, an audio technician from the production team confirmed that Jimin recorded several vocal clips used during the emotional interlude in the middle of the show. These clips did not mention his name, but their structure indicated they were motivational messages composed and voiced by someone who deeply understood Jungkook's internal state. The audience heard them as part of the show, unaware of the speaker's identity. That identity is now known. What makes this situation more significant is Jimin's complete lack of demand for recognition. He has never mentioned his involvement in any public sessions, not even in promotional interviews discussing BTS's group activities. This raises further questions. Was the decision to hide Jimin's role made personally, or was it part of a broader strategy designed by management? The public became aware of Jimin's involvement after a rehearsal photo spread showing him in discussion with the lead choreographer known to work on Jungkook's tour project at a Seoul studio. Though the photo only circulated in limited circles, its effects spread rapidly.
Online discussion sur jeon.
Fans conducted voice analyses. And ultimately, Jungkook's tour narrative shifted from a purely solo project to a show quietly built collectively. This fact not only impacts the perception of the tour itself, but also strengthens Jimin's reputation as a vital figure in BTS's internal stability, even as the group now often appears in individual projects. In certain circles of the South Korean entertainment industry, Jimin's role is being taken more seriously, not just as a performer, but also as a creative consultant with real influence behind the scenes. At the time of this report, no open statement from management has confirmed Jimin's involvement. However, with more evidence surfacing, public pressure for an official clarification is growing. The discussion around transparency ethics in concert production and acknowledgement of informal contributions is resurfacing. If this information is officially confirmed, it would mark one of the clearest examples of how internal collaboration in modern entertainment can operate beyond publicly known parameters. It's also a reminder that an artist's onstage success is often driven by forces working in silence. Jungkook's solo tour has become a major milestone in his career. But now, as hidden facts unfold, a new narrative arises. That success did not stand alone. Another hand shaped it. And that hand, with no spotlight, no microphone, no recognition, belonged to Jimin. This fact is not just an add-on. It is a structural element that redefines the entire meaning of the tour. However, as news of Jimin's silent involvement in Jungkook's solo tour spreads wider, a crucial question emerges. Are we truly witnessing the truth? Or is this part of a systematically engineered narrative designed to shape public perception? As enthusiasm continues to grow among fans, it's important we take a step back and examine how accurate is the information that is circulated. The sources forming the basis of this story mainly originate from viral TikTok content, unofficial YouTube clips, X, formerly Twitter, posts, and speculative uploads from fanbase accounts. None came from official BTS or hybe channels. In today's information climate, shouldn't we differentiate between data and assumption, between fact and fabrication? If Jimin truly played a role in the tour, why has no official documentation been released? Some suspect that this story might be a deliberately constructed narrative by fans, social media communities, or even certain commercial entities to create emotional momentum and boost public exposure of the tour project. As a reader and viewer, are you convinced that Jimin's involvement isn't part of a hidden marketing strategy deliberately crafted to shape collective opinion and reinforce fandom loyalty? At this point, the public is challenged not just to absorb information, but to analyze it. A 15-second video showing Jimin entering a rehearsal building. Did it really happen in the context of Jungkook's project? Or could the footage be from another moment, freely associated by content creators for clicks and engagement? It must be stressed that such content hasn't undergone journalistic verification. So why are so many of us quick to believe it? There's also an argument that discussing Jimin's role as an unsung hero is a deliberate romanticization meant to reinforce BTS's internal mythology. Is this truly a form of appreciation for inter-member dedication? Or merely a narrative tool crafted to evoke emotion and increase the tour's market value? It's important to note that in every large-scale global campaign, like a solo tour from an influential artist such as Jungkook, there will always be supporting narratives created to heighten emotional depth and audience engagement. In this context, Jimin's involvement, if intentionally kept hidden, could be part of a strategy called the invisible influence technique, which psychologically binds fan emotions through surprise and deep empathy. But conversely, this event could be entirely authentic. Perhaps Jimin was truly present, not as part of a strategy, but purely as a form of personal solidarity. Aren't BTS's interpersonal relationships known for their sincerity, empathy, and consistency even when the cameras are off? So it comes back to the public. Do you see this as part of an emotional truth that needs no official proof? Or do you demand more transparency to consider it valid? In such situations, critical reflection is essential. We live in an era where the boundary between fact and perception is increasingly blurred. Images can be manipulated, audio can be edited, context can be twisted. Thus, skepticism is no longer optional, it is necessary. If information like this can be believed simply because it touches our emotions, what separates us from passive consumers of digital propaganda? We offer no definitive conclusion. Instead, we urge you to question, to avoid rushing to judgment, to reread every article, rewatch every video, and ask yourself, who benefits if I believe this? Are my emotions being used for engagement? Is this reality or merely narrative? As consumers of information, we have a responsibility. And that responsibility begins with questioning everything that sounds too perfect, too emotional, or too easy to believe. Especially when the main sources come from channels without journalistic verification standards. Jimin may very well have been a key figure in Jungkook's solo tour success. But he could also be a fictional character in a viral narrative shaped by creative fan bases and algorithmic platforms. Without official data, all of it remains speculative. So we ask again, to you, the critical reader, do you believe Jimin's involvement is real, concrete, and occurred as reported? Or do you see it as another example of how social media constructs a simulated reality that feels true because we want to believe? Truth, as always, never arrives without doubt. So never be afraid to doubt, because in that doubt, we come closer to what is real. Thank you.